Good afternoon, students. Today we have Ms. Sudiptaa Paul Choudhury, accomplished expert in marketing, specifically in digital marketing. She is a highly accomplished, multi-award winning senior techno marketing executive with a rich background of 20 years of experience in driving purpose-driven, measurable, and scalable global, local branding and marketing strategies. She has been recognized among the top 250 global marketers in 2023, top 10 marketing leaders in 2022 by CEO Insights, and Women Executive of 2021 by ET Now. She brings a wealth of expertise as a board member and is currently working as Chief Marketing Officer at ShorterLoop. Her journey includes leadership roles at esteemed companies like Intuit, Tally, Ericsson, Oracle, HP, EMC, and EMC, reflecting our diverse skills in B2B, B2C industries such as SaaS, technology, fintech, telecom, retail, healthcare, pharma, IT consulting, and e-commerce. She is also an alumnus of IMC and a topper. She contributes hands-on as a business innovation strategist, product management specialist, data-driven digital marketer, brand evangelist, and thought leader. She has been a speaker in many top B schools and many different forums. And it's an honor to have you here, madam. Welcome. And thank you for accepting our invitation and to talk to our students. Over to you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. And it's lovely to see that many students have joined. First of all, yeah, thank you so much for the warm welcome, sir. And it's lovely to interact with you, all the students from different domains that you are. So yeah, the today's course is about product management, and I really believe that whether you are doing your UG or PG, product management is such an important career, and you really need to know what are the aspects of it and how you should go about it. And of course, at the end of the day, after completion of the course, you will be getting the certification from ShorterLoop. So let's move on. Before I get into the next slide, can you tell me how many of you are from UG and the post graduation?
All are postgraduates only.
Oh, okay, sir. Okay. So, hi. Yeah. So, I'm currently working as a chief marketing officer at ShorterLoop, and you have gone through all the introduction. So, I'm not, really focusing on that. I believe that the importance of product management. So, whether you are doing your PG or you know someone who is doing the engineering, or they are from a finance background, or they have taken physics, chemistry, maths, and bio as their overall career, that would be the perfect scenario where you can also think of product management. So do spread this knowledge among your network within the students, and the people who have taken computer as a profession, or they have this as an alternative or as a mainstream subject during your 12th standard. You can also think product management as a career. And what's important is the things that we are going to cover today is that what you want to achieve from this course. Of course, I talked about the first thing, that's the certification, but you also get to know the introduction and the awareness of the product management as an overall universe. Um, how do you enhance the skills, and how you can get ready being a future product managers for this specific world. You will also get to learn about a tool which is a complete end-to-end product management software, that's ShorterLoop, and you can use it for multiple purposes. Yeah, so moving on, what we are going to cover. So we will cover what is the introduction overall, what are the skill sets that are very much necessary in the product management world, and what is the product management as a domain of overall growth. You can identify the different types of product managers that are existing in today's world, the overall salary and the career progression being a student, because we always have some aspiration, right? Get into a good job right after the college. We are able to make our career stable, and also at the same time, we are moving on the different hierarchies, right? So we are progressing and advancing our own professional growth. So that's about it. We will talk about that. And of course, we will get to see the ShorterLoop as a tool in action. So let's move to this quick question, guys. how many of you know that what is very common between these CEOs? Let's take Amazon CEOs Jeff Bezos, or Yahoo Marissa Mayer, YouTube, Susan, or Google Sundar Pichai. You all know this, right? So what do they have things in common? Any idea, any thoughts that is coming on your end? The answer, it's like they all have been product manager in some point of their career. And why it was important, because product manager has a good balance between the business understanding and the technicalities of the product, which is very much resonating with the current market demand and the customer insight, which really help them becoming the better version of themselves, and also help them to advance their career. So that's the answers that you see, all of them have in common. Now, when you really go to what is product management, right? So as you see here, the product management is a very versatile career. And you see here the product manager on a daily basis interacts with the internal and also the external group. And if you see on the right hand side, the small, the circle that I have, and on different, the people or the entities that is coming across the circle, they are from the internal stakeholders, and as well as they are also from the external group like customers, partners. You see the internal teams like sales, marketing, support, finance, your partner community, or a different channel altogether. Could be digital marketing as a channel. You are interacting as a PM with the press release, the analyst houses, and of course a legal, and of course your management, strategy, sales, everyone, engineering, development. That's very important. So what you really see from this slide is that product management is a versatile field. Second, it really requires a lot of communication going back and forth between the internal and also the external community. So how a product managers really balance their communication with all these different people, also at the same time, managing their job, which is very strategic, that is really important. Now, you might be thinking that, hey, all of a sudden, why product management? So let me give you some perspective on this. So overall, if you see the product management as a career, it's 31.84 billion USD as a product management market. Now, what does it mean? Product management market contains professionals, contains tools, contains resources, contains adjacent software, contains different entities where this product managers goes and attend. It's a altogether a whole universe on its own. And by 2025, this is a number that it will reach. So you can think of the huge growth, and the overall CAGR, or I would say the cumulative accelerated growth rate of this particular market is huge, is enormous. And if you also see on the right side, the how many product managers we have in the world, it's 1 million, and it's growing. And the most important part is, if you go to this particular chart, right? Let's copy this link and let's go there. And you can see, let me go to this chart, and you can see that you can actually see in real time how many product managers are existing in the different worlds. So in USA, we have 326,000. In India alone, we have 87,000, and these numbers are growing at every point of time. So we have a huge opportunity across the center, where you can see, the overall the growth. You take Europe, like for example, France, there are 27,000, Spain, 20,000, and so on and so forth. Dubai alone, we had, more than 10,000 product managers. So that it is a very, very lucrative field to be in. And now let's look into the importance of the product management. So couple of stats and figures just to pick your brain, and also trigger it once again, that why product management. And you can see that product manager as a whole contributes to the overall profitability of the company by 34.2%. And if it is an agile environment, 70% of the product managers are also the product owners. And if you look into, like, I come from marketing, but if you look into the product management as the overall department, 34% of the departments are associated with product management. When you compare the same number with the management, or let's say the marketing or sales, it is only 23%. So you can see the huge opportunity in the space of product management. And another very important part of it, product managers are very, very particular about the number in order to identify the success of the product. That means they are tracking at every point of time the different product metrics. We will talk about it. What could be the product metrics? How well the product is doing in the market? How many people are buying my product? What is the overall satisfaction of my customers? What is the overall partner satisfaction, right? And also at the same time, if you see the last number, on an average, 54% of a product owners or a product teams are taking care of multiple lines or different types of products. So that's very important, that, why product management. Moving to the role of the product manager, if you see here, a product manager is an orchestrator. What does it mean? A product manager is also an individual contributor, but also our managers, right? You've also seen the 56.5% say that the product management is being established in the organization. What it means is that a product manager is going through acquiring some specific skill set in terms of the product management as a process in a company, how you really shape up the product management as the hierarchy, like what are the different types of roles are existing in the product management. And then if you see also, the 26.6% say that PMs have a clear role, but then many people like outside the PM department, like sales, marketing, engineering, strategy, customer support, you just take any other department that is typically existing in today's organization, they really don't understand that what is a product manager's role. The reason being is the product manager's role is multitasking. You are doing so many things at the same time. So it's not just communication or a product strategy or a vision, but also at the same time, you are interacting with a whole different group. So what exactly a product manager does, that becomes a challenge of understanding by the other groups. On the left-hand side, you see that 69% believe that product management is a leadership role. And you have seen that in the previous slide, where 34% are associated with the product management as a department, compared to only 23% who are coming from general management or a marketing background. So you, as a leader in a product management, the chances of growing and taking it is a quite bigger field on its own. And definitely the 43.3% say that the product managers are seen as leaders and they are the key differentiators inside their organization. So you are not a support group, you are not a support function, you are working mainstream, you are really working and earning the bread and butter for the company. So that's why the roles and the responsibilities of a product manager. Now, it may raise some questions in your mind that, okay, I'm doing, marketing, or I'm doing HR, I'm doing finance, I'm understanding business analytics in PG. Can I be the product manager? The answer is certainly yes. You can choose product manager, because we'll see from this slide in a few minutes from now that what are the skill sets and the roles and the responsibilities in details of a product manager. Now let's look into the challenges of a product manager. No field is existing without the challenge. And it's good to have the challenge, because that gives you the opportunity of the growth and also using the skill set based on the situation that you are in. So the top 3 challenges for a product manager is that, definitely the company has its own objective and each department has their own objective. So you are actually juggling between the overall company objectives and your department objectives, and so on and so forth. Plus, it is also very important that the challenges of the product management is the lack of time, because they are managing so many things. Once we get into the skill set and the roles, you will see that they are often out of their time because they have to achieve so much in today's world. In 24 hours, if you just take only 8 hours, they have to do a lot many things before they can call it of a day. And also you have seen that many people are very clear about what are they doing as product managers, but outside the department, they don't really understand what a product manager is. They may think it's a product marketer, they may think they are from an engineering background or a development background, and so on and so forth. So it is one of those challenges. Plus, the strategy is not very clear to some of the product managers. They are failing to meet the customer needs, because if you are creating a product which doesn't have a need in the market, then you cannot really sell the product, or your customers are completely non-existent. So will you really have such products, or will you call it obsolete and you will just put it in the dustbin and start something really innovation oriented, which is meeting the customer demands? And definitely one very important part is they are working on so many things, so they are firefighting at every point of time. 52% of them have said that they are really focusing on firefighting rather than focusing on their core skill set, which is a product strategy, vision, overall planning, road mapping, and things like that. Now let's look into the skill set of the product managers. So you see here several skill sets I have given. I have also put it in different color, just to understand that few things are soft skills and few things are it can be acquired even though you are not a pro right now. So for example, communication is the most important thing. How you clearly articulate your ideas, how good you are in data with the analytics, how you synthesize, analyze the data, how do you really prioritize based on those analysis, how are you depicting or presenting those things to your stakeholder. It is not just the analytics that you are presenting to your stakeholder. It would be a plan that you are getting approval of it from your stakeholder. The technical expertise, your engineering skills, your understanding of the different language, the different software programming that has been used in the product, let's say generative AI, let's say ASP, React JS, and you can just take any and every name, right? Java, for example, because products are using different skills, the different software programming, right, at the back end. And the strategic thinking, this is the very important part, being calm, being composed, gathering so many communication from so many channels, doing your strategic product vision right, and at the same time, you are not far away from your strategic thinking that how do I really assimilate everything and create a great product for my market, for my customer. And product managers also needs to know the market. Product managers are also they need to have certain marketing skill sets because they are interacting with the customer. They know what are the challenges that customer has. So how do I really resolve those challenges with my product? What are the guidance that I need to set it to my marketing team or my sales team or customer support team? So that's very important. So the business understanding, the marketing skill sets are very important. The most important among all the skills are listening from your customers, not just one time, every time. And the agile product management space, everything is agile. Agile meaning is that at any point of time, you are able to take any feedback. You are able to take any feedback coming internally from your organization. Let's say changing scope of a product, adding some specific feature. Or let's say your product launch date was 2 months from now, but because you are adding a specific feature, your product release date has moved, after the 2 months from now, which means that you can either do a early alpha launch or a beta launch, and then actual final launch, you do it after 2 months from now. So it is agile. Things are changing every now and then. We are changing as human. So why not the product? Why not the culture of the company? And the research is very, very important, whether you are a student or you are a person that, you are coming up with a new product, or you have some great idea. Because now, if you see the age of an entrepreneur, it's starting from the age of 8. So a very young entrepreneur requires, whether you belong to that group or you are belong to a student group, at the same time you are doing some incubation, you do have to do the research, you do have to understand your customers, and you need to have the skill sets. So that's about the skill set. Now let's move to the skill set of the product managers. If I really have to summarize what you have seen in the previous slide, I'll put it in these main 4 buckets. The first thing is the product managers needs to understand part of it. What are the channel of monetization of this product? That's the financial understanding. The second one, the strategic tools. Tools are always the enablers. If you remember, from the time we have been the human and the evolution of human, we have improved the way of living. We have used different tools, and with the tools we have sharpened it. We have come up with new innovation, and today you see there are different types of technology disruption that is happening in the current marketplace. And because of that, there are various tools that you can actually utilize, you can acquire. And so we will also have one of the tools that you will see at the end of this session, which will actually give you that the strategic thinking, the research, the customer understanding, and also making your product strategy or your vision or the road mapping, those things correct. Focusing on the right problem at the right time for the right people. The marketing proof, I told you, product managers and the product marketeers, the very fundamental difference between a product managers and a product marketer is that product managers understand customer needs, and then they help or guide the other teams like engineering to develop the product. They set the product vision, set the path for the product, whereas a marketer tells the story of the product with the assistance from the product managers to the external market, meaning the customers, the partners, and even the employees, so that everybody understands what is that product. It could be a physical, it could be a digital product, it could be a service, it could be anything. And then you also have a technical skill sets, as I told you, understanding what is the language that you are using. Maybe you are using MS SQL, you may use Java. I told you the different other languages, right? ASP.NET and things like that. You need to also understand what is the user UI and the UX part of it, overall user interaction, user experience. So that's about your technical, how a user comes and really interacts with your product, and so on and so forth. Now, let's look into, if I really need to break down all those skill sets in a very, very rudimentary way of what are the roles and responsibilities of a product manager, is the first thing is you have to define the product vision. What is a vision? Vision means, okay, I have an idea, but is this idea really a valid idea? How many people are really behind my idea? Do I have a need for this idea? What are the needs of my product? For whom is this product for, right? So that's a product vision. Very, very important. At the center of your vision, your customer, and therefore you really need to do your market research, right? Continuously listening and understanding your customers' needs, communicating that need internally and also externally from your customers. Maybe you have started creating your vision, you started creating a kind of a skeleton of your product. We say it as a minimum viable product. Maybe you have come across this term, or you have not, no worries. But it's like a very, very simple skeleton of a product. If it is a physical product, let's say, so let's say you are creating a kind of, let's say, hydrogen car, right? And coming up with the design or the overall blueprint of the product, how will you come up? You really need to understand that how many people will buy the hydrogen car? What is my overall market space in India and globally? who are the target group, what do they feel like, what are their needs, their problems, how will hydrogen car will really resolve my needs, what are the main features my customers are looking for from this market research, and therefore what are the solutions that I will really build. And definitely, how do you prioritize all those features, all those ideas that you have really gathered from your customers, from different market entities like partners, from the other industry bodies, government bodies, and how do you really prioritize that? How do you create a product strategy, product planning, and also the road mapping? And definitely how all of this giving me the monetization when I will get started earning money through my product. And in order to do that, what would be my go-to-market strategy? Again, it's a very, very marketing term. If you don't know it, no problem. But how do I bring the product to the market? What are the channels I use? What would be my pricing strategy? Where shall I launch the product? How will I promote the product? What process that I will follow? What are the subscription if it's a digital product? How do I come up with the next release of the product? How do you really tell it to your customer, hey, you have a problem and I have a solution for this, so that customers really want to try, use, and of course advocate, being the advocate for the product. So that's very important. Your launch, your success, your technically being sound, understanding that. And once you create the skeleton, you take it back to your customers and understand that, hey, does it really resonate with you? Will you really buy? Do you really support it? Do you really like the feature? What are things you didn't like? Let me go back and work with my team. So that's about the roles and responsibilities of the product managers. I am taking a little bit more deeper in the product manager space, the different types of roles that you can expect when you take your career. First time you're starting your work for the corporate. There are three types of data product manager, right? So one is definitely a data savvy people that you see. Here, what is important is you get to know the data science. You are very, very data savvy. You love the analysis, gather the information continuously to different market research, through different surveys. You test the product, see the overall testing results out of it. So what you need to be good at? You need to be really good at your overall communication, your problem solving skills, your technical proficiency in the programming languages, and of course able to communicate these with the different other parties like engineering, development, sales, and marketing, so that they understand. Now when you see the second type of product manager, they are the growth product manager. The name by itself, it says that how do I bring more growth to the product and also brings profitability for my company. So the product manager in this case is very, very technically aware. What are the market trends? What are the technology trends? What I really need to include in my product so that the customers really feel, wow, this is a fabulous product. Like let's say Chat GPT, right? Now, ChatGPT 3.5 came last November. Now, ChatGPT 4 came few months back. And now you also know that Google has come up with Gemini, Bard AI. That was also another thing where they have included ChatGPT with Microsoft product. So why they have done this? They have done this because they see clearly these are the technology trends. AI, machine learning, data science, RPA, robotic process automation, VR, AR, these are the trends. And if I am not including this, the virtual product, fill the product, right? You're thinking of getting a coffee, you just see a virtual coffee is given to you, right? You get into a hotel or a restaurant, you see on 3D, there is a hotel menu, right? On what are the things that hotel is offering as a food, and you just select and the food is ready, rightly coming on your table, right? So if I'm not utilizing those technology in my product, I will soon be obsolete. If you think those obsolete products, right? We don't really remember Orkut, for example, those days when we started having social media. It's no more now. Now it's all about LinkedIn, lot about Meta, Facebook, Insta. We have Snapchat. But think at least 20 years back, when we are really coming with that, Orkut was a product which is completely obsolete. You can remember many products like that, right? Nokia's existence in the market. Now it's everything about Apple. You have, OnePlus, you have many other Samsung, but Nokia people really don't take it, right? So if you are not advancing your product with the kind of technology that is in right now, you will be soon obsolete and you will not have any takers, therefore you will not get any revenues. Now, moving to the technical product manager side of it, what is the technical thing coming into the picture? Very importantly, if you see that, like the technical is that the person has to be technically very sound, like very, very good in understanding the programming languages, as I told you. And they are the point of contact between the product management, strategy, overall CXO or the leadership suite that you have. And they are communicating their vision to the engineering and the development team, how you have to develop the product, what is the core benefit that you are giving, what is the core programming language you have to develop, what are the testing, bug fixing, what are the different tools that I'm using in my daily life. And if I don't know as a product manager, I cannot really guide the engineering team or the software development team. So here, product manager is having all the skill sets that you have seen in the previous slides, but on the top of it, the product manager is also a software engineer or has been a developer at some point of time, and then they slowly progressed moving to a product management. That's very much possible, transitioning your career. Now let's look into that. What is everyone's questions in mind today? Okay, I get into a product management line, but how much salary shall I get? And how are my career progression that is happening? So first and foremost, as per the survey data from PayScale, it's one of the renowned survey agency when it comes to salaried professionals in the USA and also in the across the globe. Specifically in USA, if you are becoming a product manager between around, let's say, 5 to 8 years of experience, you get 104,000 USD. For an entry level between 0 to 5 years of experience, you get $85,000 per year. If you are between mid-level of your product management career, between 10 to 19 years of experience, you get to see 120,000 USD per year. And whereas in India, a product manager between 16 to 17 years typically earns 50 lakhs INR per year. And if you see the career progression, you are coming right away from your PG. I would definitely encourage the UG students to do the PG and then get into the product manager's space. So associate product manager, APM, that is how you get into this. You can also be a business analyst and then become an associate product manager. Then you become a product manager after 2 or 3 years of your successful career in associate product managers. Then you became a senior product manager or SPM, become a director, then became the VP of products, and then finally you get into the C-suite, chief product officer. So at the hierarchy, if you see, it's not very far from being an APM to a CPO. But what really matters is your skills, your strategic thinking, your communication, and being hungry with all the kind of project that you can take it on top of your role to show your management that yes, I am capable of doing multiple things, but with quality and while working with all the different teams, being empathetic. So that's very important. Now, here I stop and I will get into a ShorterLoop, the tool that you will see. Before that, a little bit of introduction on ShorterLoop, the company that I represent. So here, ShorterLoop is a MNC and we started a few years back. We are into complete product management market. We are end-to-end product management software that's powered by Agile. You heard it. Design thinking, it's an approach which really helps you to, before you design a product, you do a lot of thinking, which means that you do a lot of discovery, you channelize what are the research, what are the experiments that you have done, how do you really channelize in your thinking of developing or designing a product. And definitely it is powered by generative AI. We have used ChatGPT, and of course we are building our own generative AI algorithms. And this tool is meant for a students like you. The tool is free, you can utilize it. For a solopreneur, the tool is free. And we work with all the different types of our customers, like from startups, the startups who are just coming up. They are the startups, I mean by that, they're just coming up with a product, or they are just looking for a funding, or people who had been established as a startup in 3 to 4 years of line and had been profitable. They are nothing but the scale up. And also the small, medium-sized business, like less than 500 employees in the organization, and also the enterprises like more than 500 employees, and their revenues in billion US dollar. So we work with all the different types of companies, and we have 1,000+ product owners globally who are using the tool. We have received various recognitions from the marketplace, like we are there on G2. G2 is one of the marketplace. When you are going to buy a product, it's a digital or a software product, people generally try to collect the opinions of the other people who are already being the customers of the same product, and they really go through all those review and the feedback. Hey, is it a good? You generally do it, right? When you go to Amazon, you are buying something, or when you are going to Mintra, you are buying something for your families, you do go through the revenue, right? So this is also revenue. You go to the review, sorry, and you also see that in these kind of software marketplaces like G2, Product Hunt, SourceForge. We are the leader in product management software. CrossDesk, there is another platform called Software Select, and we are also on Capterra and Gartner, and also on Sasa. So what is the main problem that we are solving? Let's look at there. So the key problem that we are solving, we really believe that we can help an individual or a collective group of product owners and the product teams, or CPOs, or I would say chief executive officers, or the product directors, whoever. You have seen those, all the product teams across the global operations that they are doing. We really help them to become more smarter in collaboration, do only one tool that they are using, do use one tool, but doing all the product work, managing in one place. With doing that, what we are really solving is we are becoming more efficient. We are making you more efficient, cutting down your cost by 50%, because you might be using a lot of product tools, and therefore you are spending a lot of money for that. And it's not really good until and unless you really have or understood a particular product and using it in your daily space, right? Think of your mobile. You have a lot of apps, but how many apps you really use it? And the 3x efficiency part of it, because you are helping all the teams that you have seen. A product manager generally communicates, they can all use the tool and becoming 3x efficient in smarter collaboration and smarter communication. So that's about it. You can see the tool also helps you right from listening to your customer at every stage, learning it, ideating. When you are ideating whether your product vision is right, or collaborating with your different teams over a particular flow chart or a sequence diagram, you are creating a user journey diagram. You can all use that whiteboard right here. You can then do the discovery, which means that who are my customers, who are my markets, will they buy it, is this the real problem, am I really focusing on the right solution, will I be profitable with my product? Those kind of questions are very important to know before you actually design, develop, and launch the product. So make you better at your strategic thinking, visioning right, working on the right problems. Then you design and define. Finally, you plan the product, you do the road mapping, then you build it. Finally, again, you can go back at any point of stage. These are not a sequential diagram that you see. It can happen from anywhere. So it's agile. You can build the product at any stage. You can measure the success of the product if it once it has launched, and you can continuously listen to your customer and learn it. So it necessarily need not to be right to left or left to right. It can happen disruptive way as the way you can think. If you already have a product, you can use it for further planning, further strategizing, further discovering, collaborating, finally launch and you listen to it. And what is a competitive advantage? The tool is the only platform which is helping you to do all the product work and at every stage of a product life cycle. The people who are from engineering background, you know what is a product life cycle, right? You have a waterfall model. You also have a agile way of working on it, right? So from the designing, prototyping, requirements gathering, then prototyping, then planning, then define. After you planning, you are launching, and then you are measuring the success. All the stages, the product helps you to do these things right inside in one platform. And the second thing is it will support the product. This is also a tool that is supporting. You have a vision, you have a product idea. Let's say you want to open your own training center. It could be right there on your website. It could be offline. So you can open, before you open the training center, you really want to surface the market to understand how people, what kind of training I'm providing, what is the need that I have in the market, how many people will I really get, what would be my product pricing, what kind of players that are there who has similar training kind of an offering, what are their monetization channels, what are the customers current problems, and therefore if I am addressing that in the product. So right from before you come up with the product, your ideation to launch the product and getting that value seen through your customers through the utilization of the product, all are being done right from this tool. And it also is powered by generative AI. So it does the intelligent coaching based on how do you use the product. And it also tells you what is next. So you have a proper vision. You cannot really go wrong. Very minimal training needed. Everything is very cleanly understood. And as I said, that let's now look into a little bit more and then we get into the product quick demo. So we as a company are headquartered in US, in Texas. We are also having our offices in Netherlands. And in Netherlands, my CEO sits, and we are also having a very prominent presence in India. Our office is in Maharashtra and Pune, and we are also having remote office in Bangalore. So in case you have any queries, you can reach out to me. You also know my LinkedIn handler. You can also come to shorterloop.com or you can, connect me over phone. Now, let's why now you should consider about the product management as a career, because as per Gartner, one of the renowned rated one analyst when it comes to product management or any kind of reviews or rating the vendors in the place, you will find that now at this point of time 75% of the product managers are using product management software, and they are also using road mapping tool. So this is the time you should also acquire these skills and use ShorterLoop because you want to be in that. So if you know already in advance these tools, it will make your resume even more prominent, more lucrative in front of the corporate people when you go and your placement is getting started and people ask that, hey, why did you learn? What did you learn? These are my side projects which I did during my engineering, during my PG. So that gives a lot of advantage, a lot of added prominence that you being standing out in the crowd by knowing this. And you have already seen that how that particular product management software is moving at the rate of 11% growth. And from 2017 to 2030, it will go from $2 billion to $5 billion market. And finally, we as a ShorterLoop, other than the product and the training that we are providing, we also have different trainings on advanced product management when you want to advance your career for a senior product manager, product director, or you really want to understand the design thinking and action, the continuous product discovery. We do it. and it is available right now as well for all of you. And we also provide research or internship opportunity, paid internship opportunity. We currently have a research intern opportunity, in our company, and you can actually, gather the skill sets and start also working if that gives you some side income. Yeah. So that's about it. Now let me start with a quick demo. In terms of timeline, we still have around 20 minutes. I can take some questions that you have and then show the quick demo. Sir, if you feel that is right, or I can show the demo and then take the questions.
Uh,
Whatever.
your choice, madam.
Okay. So I can take quick 10-15 minutes question and then I can show a demo. Students, if you guys are comfortable, please shoot me with a question. Unmute yourself, come on to camera. It would be good to see you. And yeah, ask me questions. Yes. Okay, I already see some questions. Thank you so much. That's really encouraging. So the first question is that PM skills, product management skills, roles and responsibility would be critical for those who are aspiring. Yeah, exactly. That's right, sir. You have currently that's a comment, but yeah, it is right. Yeah. Is coding critical for PMs? I would say no. But if you are a software engineer, you have taken information science or computer science during your Bachelor of Engineering, your UG courses, and you are thinking of moving to a product management, it will be highly beneficial because you are already knowing the development knowledge. You have a coding language, but if you don't have it, need not to worry, no sweat, no stress. Because a product manager, as I showed you, that they are more strategic, they are more close to the customer, they are more close what is happening in the market, what is my customer needs, and how do I create great products. So they are having the technical skill sets help you, but if you don't have, you can acquire it during the thing. So you don't have to know the coding as a critical skill set for a product manager. Yeah, second question is very important. Yes, can non-engineering or non-CSC people do well as PM? Yes, so as I told you, I have worked with many product managers. So let's say if you are coming from a finance background or an accountant background, or you have done your MBA in HR, or let's say HR may or may not be coming from the engineering, but maybe coming from a kind of your arts or some other kind of a thing. You can definitely upskill yourselves with certain product management training that I told you our company also does. Plus you can go to Udemy, there is Upgrad, there is Coursera. You can learn, and you can also do some real-time project that gives you a confidence, and you can then get into this product management career. And what is the time required to become adept in using the tool for a fresher? In no time, I can guarantee you, when you see the tool, you yourself can start utilizing it without any help. And of course, we do have our YouTube channel, and we are coming up with another webinar that's on December 12th. You can get to see more on this webinar. I'll just take you to the YouTube channel where you can see it. You can learn about it, and it will not really require any time. So just 15-20 minutes of refresher, and you can start using the tool right from day one. Yeah, thanks, Aditya. I see quite informative and helpful. I personally wanted to grow from a technical background, right, which is specifically cybersecurity. Whoa, this is one of the very important field, given the lot of firewall, those cyber fraud and these things are happening. You are in the right things, yeah. You are coming with that background that really helps, I guess, which is SOC, Security Operations Center, right? Towards a partly management position, and later towards CISO, right? Apart from the knowledge you have imparted with us today, what would you suggest to us to have no background in management to grow and become someone who is fit for such a position that I mentioned, which is more technically heavy, but also learning quite a bit to a management position? What qualities would be most necessary for such position that you personally would look out for, and the nice to have skills, and that would be appreciated. Okay, there are a lot of questions. I'll break down these questions in 4 to 5 questions, if that helps. So firstly, yes, you are coming from a technical background. It's a plus, definitely, because you understand and you will try in those kind of software industry where they have the cyber security as a product, because you already have the technical knowledge. But let's say you are not getting into those software companies where they are building the cyber security product, but you are getting into any product development company, or let's say any other startup, telecom, or a big company like Google, Microsoft, or any company that you can think of, any sizes, right? As a CISO, cybersecurity, your career is, as you rightly said, that you need to have the certification. But if you really need to, you see, for everyone, whether you are a leader or whether you are a technical leader or not, you definitely minimally have to have some management skills. One is people management. Why it is important? Because you are not just working as alone in the company, right? You are working with different other company departments. So let's say being in cyber security, you are actually continuously communicating with peers, with your management, with your engineering team or a customer support team, because there are a lot of feedback that has come to the customer support team about the product that you are working, right? So this people management, excellent communication, analytical thinking, problem thinking, being seen as a person who is a problem go-getter, who is a problem solver, and also who has, jugaad as a word, right? You saw the recently that Uttarkashi tunnel, that we kind of taken those workers who were trapped there, right? What really happened there? The Indian innovation, the jugaad really worked, right? It was the people skills, the immediate presence of your mind, right? So I would say at every point of time, whatever the work profession you are, whether you are a management, non-management, technical, doesn't matter. You need to be fluent in three things. One is that communication and expressing your clarity in your communication, thinking on your own, coming up as a problem solver. These are some of the management skill sets are needed. And don't worry if you don't have it or your curriculum doesn't provide it, because I told you there are many training that is available. If you go to Udemy, upgrad, and there are many free training that even I am Calcutta, from where I'm from. Yeah, I am Bangalore. They also do a lot of free training for the students, for helping them to upskilling them, right? So I would say, don't worry. You are just starting your career. Take it on the leap. Take it on the right faith. That yes, you can manage, right? And the very important, the second question that you have asked is that, yes, I mentioned, which is more technically heavy, but leaning quite a bit to management position. Yes, definitely. So your career, let's say you are not getting into a PM role, and here it is a product management. People generally kind of get it mixed with project management. Project management is a smaller circle within the big universe of product management. And so you can grow as a cybersecurity individual contributor, get into that CISO, then get into a management position where you are managing a team of these cybersecurity professionals, move into a senior manager, director. Finally, you can become a chief product officer, where all of your other management skills you will acquire it. But having this and actually nurturing it, so I would say that as a student, why don't you start thinking of something as your very passion project? Right? So you may go start, if you have seen, there are a lot of industry events that is happening, right? Next Jan, there is happening IoT show, electronic show, Smart Bharat, and people are showcasing their innovation. Go and interact. You will understand a lot by going to these industry seminars, attending these conferences, go and meet kind of company that we are, go and meet, get that kind of avenue in your college, so that you interact, you understand what is very important, and then sharpen your skill sets there. So definitely you can do, even though you are in a technical position, but if you want to move to a project management position, that is also doable, and it is very much possible. And if you don't have a coding skill set, it's never say no. You don't really need to have that as being a product manager, but it certainly helps if you have it. Okay, so yeah, the most critical skill is communication skills. Yes, that's Kingshuk, our CEO from ShorterLoop. Thanks, Kingshuk. So yeah, it's very important articulating, and because you are an orchestrator, you are communicating with each and every department. So it's very, very important that you learn. By default, you are a natural communicator, right? And use your body language, use those verbal gesture, be welcoming, be graceful, be smiling, be calm, write notes. There are a whole lot of things that gets into your soft skills, communication management. We can take another class for this. But yeah, given the respect of the time, let me go to the tool and let me show you what the wonder ShorterLoop does for you and the entire student fraternity.
Sudipta,
Yeah.
one
Yes, sir.
suggestion
Yes.
along with the demo,
Yeah.
you have also kind of traversed many different industries
Right.
and many different roles. So sharing your career progression and the way you have taken decisions, career decisions. Maybe some pointers if you share, maybe it might be also that might be useful for students.
Definitely, sir. First of all, I am very fortunate that in all my companies and all my mentors that I have been with, I have been, that have been a very growth oriented journey. It also depends on you how do you take the challenge and see it with having the right positive mindset. If you know the Gen Z, and I belong to this millennial kind of community. So I would say, uh, do do acquire a lot of skill set that makes you stand in the competition really in a very high kind of spirit. I would say that people really recognize your knowledge, the words that you use, the beauty, and your brain has to make a very perfect integration, because people really remember how did you behave with them, how did you talk to them. You may have a lot of knowledge, but if you don't have the right attitude, you don't really get anywhere. I started my journey. I did my engineering and computer science. I remember those struggling days. Used to be 2.5 hours in the bus. I did it in PACIT, BMS College, in Bangalore. Uh, 2.5 hours going in the morning, 7:30 in the bus stop, reaching there around 9ish or 9:30. Again in the evening, I used to come back. I actually started tutoring some of the engineering and the 10th and 12th students and started getting my pocket money. My father had been a government officer in Department of Commerce, and he used to travel every nook and corner of India every 3 years. That has really helped me as a person I am, knowing different culture, and I love traveling. Had traveled to 40 plus countries with or without work. So that really helps me to connect with the team, connect with their culture, their music, their food, the different languages. So yeah, from engineering I started doing that. Then I did my MBA in marketing. I am alumnus. I did, every 2 or 3 years I kind of invest in learning. I believe it's a me time for myself. That doesn't mean that work is off. Work is on, but you do take the side projects. Really be smart in working, but also hard working. Both are needed. It's a myth that if you think that something comes overnight, it doesn't happen overnight. It really requires the dedication, your perseverance, your positive mindset, your growth mindset, and never say no to anything that you really feel that you are passionate about. So I worked during my MBA. I started working with different communities from ICICI Bank, where I started gathering my fintech skill sets. If you want to understand, understanding the marketing nuances of it, doing the product marketing, the market research. I'm a research and data oriented person. Um, yeah, and the engineering, those Java games that I created in my 7th and 8th semester, that really helped me to understand what is C++ and Java and I created a small game that became very successful in the college. I then started working right after my MBA, and during the MBA 2 years I worked ICICI Bank. There was a software company, and then there was a California, it's a Silicon Valley company, Metric Stream, and then I get into EMC. You can say my career moved from a small medium to bigger company, those Fortune 500, if you want to really say that. So I worked with EMC, and I really didn't stop at my growth, because I really believe that when you work with different industry, you get a growth. It may be taken negatively in some places, because then people think that you are not really staying with the same company. In different culture it's taken. But if you have a varied knowledge, you understand what is finance, you understand what is product, you understand what is marketing, you also understand what is sales. So it really helps you to talk and use those languages when you communicate to the other person. And that's really helped me. And I had mentor at every stage of my journey, being from the same company, being my manager, being a non-manager. I have been extremely grateful to my IIM fraternity, and also the engineering college. I still, go and meet during the alumni meet. So lot of network. You need to also be a very great communication person, as Kingshuk was saying, that have your network because you don't know from where what opportunity really comes. And just go with the flow. Don't overanalyze, or don't kill the process with your overthinking. Yes, do some kind of research, do understand once you get something on, it just comes to your way, and do that insight, right? Because human are intelligent people, right? You don't really find that kind of intelligence. Even though AI or things are there, I don't think that AI can really replace, but AI can leverage, and human can really understand and utilize these tools and advance their career as they grow. So I have been learning, and I really believe that when I used to really be very straightforward with my management, that, being clear on my vision, of course, the research and understanding the product, and that really helped. But also what you really want out of your career, right? 2 to 3 years from the line, what you really want to be, right? Having a good negotiation, and what you will achieve, and how you will achieve, and getting those passion projects on top of what you are delivering, that really helps me. And I have been always referred in different companies by my mentor or my network, to from EMC to HP to Oracle. Oracle, I was there for 5 years. I got two mobility, international mobility, worked in India and also in some other countries. I'd been in Dubai. I of course, in US, and every month I used to travel because of my job. In Ericsson, I was moving from a very different career, I would say, from a software management to a telecom, and I didn't know what is 3G, 4G, or 5G. And that was the time the convergence of software and telecom are really taking place. I didn't have any background kind of a role that I applied, but people see the potential in me, and they asked me that what you can do, and I really said that this is what I can do. Being one woman army, I created a team of 100 people, indirectly and directly reporting to me across 10 regions. I got promoted twice. And then Ericsson was in the, like every 5 years, if you see some specific industry, they go through recession, right? You have all been, whoever is part of your computer science or information technology, you have seen the recession time, right? And currently also the economic slowdown that's happening and impacting some of our careers. So I thought, let me take a jump, move to an Indian MNC, and I worked with Tally. Tally software, if you have heard of, you know that they are number one in accounting software in India, and they are being used by Middle East, also some parts of in USA. And yeah, so I was the person of launching Tally in Middle East, and talking to the government of Middle East, and of course the CAs, and understanding. I think what has really helped here is when I was changing the industries, I was also broadening my career. I was also learning, because I believe that every day is a learning, and take the challenge in the positive way. So I really give product test. I was certified with Tally. I got 100 out of 100, and it was a 3 hour test. It's a complete situational test, and learning the product, knowing those accounting that you have learned in your management time in the first semester, right? And I come from engineering computer science, don't know anything about accounting. So learn what is profit, your debit, credit, how do you enter everything, how will the software work, and then you give the test, because that really helped me when I was going and meeting my customers and they don't know how to use the tool. That really helped me. So you learn it on your own, and then this really helped you to understand the product or telling the story how that product is bridging the gap or really solving the problem in the marketing place. I am also a product marketer because I really believe in storytelling, and I told you a lot of story, right? Because that's the way I connect things in my brain. So I would really say, don't go by bookish knowledge. Do a lot of applied skills. Take up some passion projects. Maybe paid, maybe unpaid, but you don't know what kind of opportunity comes to your way. So be positive to that. And I would say, when I travel to Asia versus US versus Europe, the different types of culture, and that really helps me to understand that where we are. So when you really talk to Japanese people, they are. I used to think that Japanese are not party hard. They don't party hard. They only work. But I really came to know people that after 6 p.m. they are just totally cut off from their companies. But I have also seen in US, and of course, some parts of Europe. When I was in Sweden for months after months, part of Ericsson, or in California being part of Oracle, I have seen people really work for 13, 14 hours. And you may think that as a young generation that I really can't work, 8 hours. I know recently Naran Murthy has said that young people have to work for 72 hours. I don't want to comment on that, but this is my vision. When we start coming up with a career, when we are taking the entry in the job market, you need to be as humble, you need to be coachable, and you need to be coachable throughout the life, because that really helps you that how do you connect with different teams. So hard work, you have to really work hard to learn and acquire, being the best friend of your manager, because managers are also human beings. They also have their own challenges. Sometimes they do express to their team, sometimes they don't. But if you are one of those person being the problem takers and also the problem solvers, you will definitely be coming into the good book, because when the appraisal happens, they really ask you who are those people who are ready for the next role. And it is not just your manager gives you the feedback, but it is the entire panel of people, your 360-degree feedback that comes. And that really matters if you have a great relationship with engineering team, development, your sales team, all the different, even HR and finance. So be the problem solver. You need not to know everything, but you need to know how to manage it with calm, taking notes, pondering, thinking on those lines, that how you can be a differentiator here. So that's really helped me. I moved to Ericsson to Tally. Tally, I was there. Then I had some personal emergency. I had to, I took something really new, entrepreneur career, started my own digital marketing agency, Media Nurture. And I was also, giving equal time to my family because there was some emergency. Then I came back and I had my 4 years of digital marketing, my entrepreneur skills. Again, I started from bottom zero because I had all my corporate experience, and now I am at the other side where you are starting everything as a scratch. So having that mindset that today you have everything, tomorrow you don't have nothing, how do you really start from square zero, or like how you are, and you are not getting that fat paycheck you used to get it every month. So how do you really, it's a total mindset change, right? Are you really ready for it? So that's very important. It really gave me enormous growth as an individual, shaping up my career. And all the networks that I had that time, they were really my customers. So worked with Infosys, Wipro, Intuit became my customers. I had the entire Intuit marketing for Asia, and also for the India for the QuickBook accountant launch. I continued then after doing my consulting from my digital marketing. Then finally I came back, after the personal emergency has been stopped. I came back and I joined corporate stream as a VP of marketing for OpenLM. And yeah, then I joined ShorterLoop. So I believe that take things very positively, be smiling, be ready for the challenge, have a very, very clear mindset that what you really want to achieve from your career, have a very purposeful life, and also giving back to the society. If you remember the brands that we buy, why do we buy? Because we feel that they are doing something really good, right? So it could be, you are giving back. So I really visit different, as you have heard, that different universities. I also, manage to girl child, providing their education. Whatever I can do in my capacity, I do it. And I believe that, it's a great life. You have one life, you have so many opportunities, so just grab it. So that's about the experience. And whichever hierarchy you go, because Indians always think of, moving 1 or 2 years, I will go here or there, and you go at the top. But Europeans or US people, they don't really that think they can be at a customer support for next 20 years of time, right? And they are feeling really good about it. So no problem, ask your team what do they want, where they want to be, and you being a manager or a team person, give them that, facilitating that path for them. Because servant leadership or a situational leadership, again, I can talk about it maybe in some other session, but that's really important. Work for your team. You are no one without your team, so you are going along with the team. So as a leader, when they look up to you, you also learn from them. So have that mindset that I'm not the supreme, I'm not, it's not an autocratic, right? It is a democracy. That is an action as well. So you need to learn, you need to really understand, and then give that this path, professionally, personally, make them better, because then that way you
Thank you,
touching.
Sudipta.
Yeah.
Thanks for sharing that. I thought, your diverse experience might give some pointers for some students on, how to look at challenges in the way that life and career throws up, and also look, traversing different paths. So thanks for sharing. Now,
Thank you so much.
shall we go for that demo
Yeah,
you were?
we will just quickly do the demo. So, team, first of all, it's free for students like you.
This tool
Yeah.
app can be used by a company which is not having a product management kind of a perspective, or this could also be used by a few people, people who have some ideas and want to have a, develop a concept and a business, product business. Could be useful for
Yes,
entrepreneurs also.
you are very much right. Yes, whether I have a product in hand or I don't have, I am just currently ideating, conceptualizing for an entrepreneur. Yes, this tool can be used, and that is where the discovery really works nicely. And I will just show you a such glimpse, some of the screenshots of this, so that you know. And yes, so that's the answer for it. Yes, and
Yeah, I think for some of our students, that will also be a very useful thing. As you know, I keep hearing students saying that, we want to develop some idea and start. I think this would be a good place, because in one app, they can take up from the idea to product to, prototype. I think, and also go to market. Well, I mean, I think each and every stage is covered in this app. So that way, I think it will be very useful for them also.
certainly, sir. Yes. So yeah, so once you do your discovery, and that is where the design thinking comes, because you really need to think a lot about your market, your customer, before you can actually shape up, or how do I say, you solidifying your idea to a real kind of a vision, and then you laying out that overall product strategy and the planning. So that's very important. And yes, once you do everything, you then get into the make your hands dirty designing the product, coming up with the blue. So this is the app.shorterloop.com, and here you go to slash register. I will share that with you. So you just give slash register and start using the tool right from now. So once you do this, it will ask you some specific questions, your name, what is the product, if you have some idea, you put in, and yeah, and what you want to use this tool for, and things like that. And then you get to come to this dashboard, like where I was there. As soon as you log in, you see this dashboard. So this gives you a kind of a thing. If you are conceptualizing, this is the path that you take. It also tells you that if you have already launched your product, you can track those metrics. If you have a digital product or a physical product, you can manage that. That's one. And the product also gives you doing ample opportunities of doing your experiments, and gathering the different evidence that you collect from this experiment, which helps you to identify what's the problem that you have in the market for those customers, and what is this experiments really helps you, that what kind of solution, or if you have some hypothesis that you really want to prove, or you want to nullify, whatever it is, you can do that right here. You can see what are the experiments you are running. Now, what I was really showing you is the product vision. And this is where I was saying that your vision is not, it's not a separate from your target group. And you actually can come up with any vision that you have. You can create it with ChatGPT as well. You identify these needs for this specific target groups are these, and therefore what kind of product you will be bringing, what kind of main technologies, and what are the objectives that you have to achieve that particular product as a success. Because I told you 80% of the product managers do measure product success, so it's very important that you also measure right from end to end, so that you know how your product is doing, right from the identifying the problem statement in the market. Now, once you do this, you get into, let me go there. So you get into the kind of, the persona stage, because this is where you saw that when you created the vision, for whom you are building the product. So you can actually create a persona, and this has been generated from ChatGPT, and you can actually validate the persona by doing a quick experiments here. And when you do, quick experiments to identify what is really the goal or the challenge of these personas, their gains, and for who, which target segment you have taken, you can actually identify what you really want to experiment, and then you can just set that experiment here, right? So you can do that. And at every point, I talked about the collaboration part or the communication part. You can actually share this instance with your other team members. Of course, then for an individual, the product is free. But yeah, if you are having a group of people, you need to go for a price plan. And here you can actually validate the persona, and you can put your comments right here. So you can see whether this persona is really looking good or not. You can make those comments and things like that. So those the comments field. So this is where you are bringing everybody to see and validate, so that you can move ahead. You can do those experiments, gather those experiments actually being done in the idea manager. So yeah, that's about this thing. This is the discover phase. I am in the second stage of it. Now, once you have done all of this, you come to value prop, which is a again starting from your outside in, because you identified what was the customer, you were building the solution, what were their problems. Now, based on their gains and the pains, this is coming from the customer persona. You are now identifying that as a company, what is the product that I will deliver, what kind of gain creator or aha moments that I build in my product, what kind of pain relievers I will do. Therefore, what are the types of products and services I need to bring it to the market, and what would be the customer jobs. By using this product, what will customer be, right? So that's about it. And then it is the business model, which is a 9 step. You can think everything has been stitched together in one place. Very outside in, see the product, target audience. You already see the value proposition that you have done it in the previous step. Now you are doing the rest of the things, what it means for you, what are the resources you need, what are the key activities in terms of product management you have to do, who are your partners, and all the processes, tools, everything, and what kind of relationship you will build, your go-to-market channels that you will require, and of course you see what kind of cost structure and the revenue streams, how you will make the product profitable in the market, what are the channel for those monetization streams. And again, you can share at every stage everything with your team, and they can collaborate, communicate better. So once you do that, it can be sequential. It can just start with your kind of a idea board, or I would say it's a whiteboard where you do your brainstorm. This diagram, who are from engineering college or doing the technical kind of a thing, you guys know it. It's data flow diagram, or a kind of a sequence based diagram. You see there are conditions, there are some processes that has been set up, and all of this. So the beautiful thing that I really want to talk about it, while you are ideating, you want to collaborate alone or you want to collaborate with your team. So in order to do that, you have all the elements of doing a kind of a data flow diagram right here in the tool. Get this validated from your team. You can put a frame, whatever the idea you want to have done it. Now you want to put a frame, just putting the outer line of it, and then you save it so that other team can use it, right? So that's about it. It has some quick things. So like if you are presenting and you want to point, it has that pen tool or a kind of a laser tool. And you also see that, you can marmot to ShorterLoop. So it's like, you really want to insert this particular, we are coming up with more and more diagram, but yeah, you can actually use some of the ready-made thing that is there and you can use it. You can use different color, you can use sticky notes, you can put a different font and color and, put a different layer. It's just like if you have used Adobe Photoshop or any other drawing tool, I'm sure you find it very familiar here. That's about the collaborate part of it. Once you do that, you are actually have spent a lot of time in designing, in discovering the what is market really looking for, what is the problem customer has, what is the solution, and your GTM strategy should be. Now you really start putting those things in defining stage or a designing stage if you're really following that agile methodology. So what you have already seen in the previous cases, for whom you are developing the product. So your customer stays right at the center. And you also see that the solution that you will be developing, because in your previous discovery stage, you have identified what are the value prop, what are the solution that you will be designing. So you go a little bit more deeper in this stage, defining it, exactly define what solution you will develop, and you can do as many as possible. You can also identify what is the deliverables that would require. You can turn it to, right now you want to build that solution, you can turn it to epic and it gets and moves into the next stage. We will see that. And yeah, and you also you are not really alone from your business objectives, why you are creating the solution for your market. So this product gives you the opportunity to have these three entities: you as a company, your customer, and your business goals. That is the management are really looking forward, right? So all three things are getting stitched at the same time. So that is why we say it is customer centric and agile and end-to-end capability. Once you do that, you come to the planning stage, getting into the roadmap, because now you know what solution and you have started putting the solution as epic. So you can actually plan your roadmap, that what I will bring in the market, what time. And you can see your quarter wise few things that is completed, or you can actually do something in progress, or you want to do it, you can plot it. It is like a Kanban view. People who are knowing that product management language, that lingo you might be familiar with. And definitely the backlog part, where you have already started putting, let's say, some of the product activities, or it is the epic or a story or whatever. You can actually see all of those, and if these are not plotted here, you can actually plot it here. So that's about that. Prioritization metrics, it's actually helps you also to all the feedback, all the ideas that you have received, right, from your discovery stage or in the idea management. We will go shortly there. How do you strategize? The tool has a effort and value metric. That is the way they identify what is very crucial to do now. So if you have a very high value and a very less effort, which is a quick fix for you, you can, low hanging fruits for now, you can do it now. But if you have a very high value and also very high effort that is required, then in that case, you can just make this big product, the solution chunk. You can actually break it into small part, and you decide, okay, this I will do in Q1. After 2 weeks from Q1, I will do this and this, and then you just make it. But if you have something which is of very high value, but there, like let's say, I would say that high value, or I would say very low on value and also very high on effort. So this is this quadrant where it is high on effort, but the value wise, it is not really. You may really need to think through that what you have to do. So you can actually see this in the right, in that bottom of the quadrant, and on the left hand side you see this is you have a very less, it is not really important, it is not really urgent, because your value is less, and your effort is also not that important. So you can actually manage this job, you can do it when you have some time. But if it has a very high effort but zero value on the right hand side, this quadrant, then you really think that do I really have to do this? So that way it helps you to put on those burning things, do right now, because your customers need it. And then which has a very high effort and high value, you can split it in different tasks, smaller tasks. And so that's about it. And if you go to story maps, which I was telling you, right, in the impact map, or when you are doing your roadmap, you saw in that there are some epics that is there. So what is happening here is the story maps is, let's say you are thinking that how will this product will be shaping up on its own, the designing part of it. Let's say you are doing the user experience or the user interaction, how the tool front end would be, right, how navigating and optimal experiments that you really bring it. So let's say you are really want to put those user steps, what the user will do when they come to your app, when they come to your tool, what is the first thing they do, then the next thing, then the next thing, and then the next thing. You can just go ahead and add it more and more new user steps. You can add it. You can also make this as your uh, the epic, or that you take it directly to your product management activity. Under that epic, it is has the three layers. So epics, under the epics, which is a very very generic, and it's like a helicopter view of it. If you go a little bit down, you really think of what are the features that you will really develop for that particular overall user onboarding. Let's say you are doing a user onboarding for your product, more acquisition, more engagement. So in the onboarding, you have that onboarding form. So this would be a feature, right? You will ask some specific questions, and you will also bring some role-based questions, right? So those are the features that you'll think. And under that user story, so it's the first layer, it's a second layer, and user story is the third layer. And here you really come up with what the user are expected to do here, right? They will fill in the form, then they will go in, ask some specific question, they will answer to those questions. You can put the release date, and you can create a number of stories out of each epic, out of each feature, and make your everything in one place. Very very easy, and it is also very useful to talk to your development or the engineering team on this. So that's about it. And next you come, once you have planned it, you have the right story map, you have identified what layer, epic, user story, your features, everything. This is the area where you get to see all your activities, who are the owners, they are monitoring those status of those activities. In terms of the score, you can see based on the prioritization part of it. And of course, few other stuff that you see. You can actually, if you have more than one product, you can do the similar things for other product lines. Like here you have, I am just showing you, one of the product teams that has been assigned. You can have different other product teams. You can also have different other product. Like I'm currently using media nurture as a product. You can have another product, and you can also have the different version. But yeah, so that's about it. And then the final thing where the AI is very much it gives you a lot of insight and saves your time of analyzing. If you are doing some kind of a research project and you invited your customer in this particular URL, you have added those customers here. And so you can, let's say here you are inviting your customers who wants to give the idea, right? So you can actually invite those customers, could be your own fellow students, your own fellow faculties, where you want to first test it out, or you want to go externally, actual customers. You can just invite them via email, or the magic link. And once you do that, they come and see this particular place where they go and post their idea. As soon as they post their idea with all the details, description and everything, they can also choose that this idea is for what. You can see everything, and then you finally post it. Once you go do that, you actually see the ideas are getting accumulated right in this first place, where you see that ideas have been accumulated. You also see the ideas being rated by your customers, and you can make your ideas public. And you can also make your ideas based on, if you think this idea has a real potential to create a development activity, you can make it as a work item. And the AI does the overall analysis of all the ideas and creates them and puts them in different themes. So you can see that specifically, if you want to really generate the themes, the AI will work at the back end, and all your ideas it will go through and create it under similar relatable themes. And if you don't want to use AI, you can use your own theme at the time, and you can make your idea public, so that people can really see, and they can actually see that what are the themes and what are the ideas, and they can also rate it. So if you really want to democratize one specific idea, you can do that, making it public. You can also summarize the problems, and you can also ask AI to create a probable solution for it. So it can be all done here. Like, for example, I did tell me what is a summary of all these idea that has, and what is the problem for it. Now I say what you generate the solution based on, now that you have gone through all the ideas. So the tool also does this. And so that way, you see that AI is currently working, and it will give you the probable solution. And you can also revise a summary, and you can just present. So it makes your life a whole, it's a lot easier to manage this on a daily to daily basis, and then coming up with what it means, synthesizing the entire analytics. The people who are not that strong in analytics, the AI does it for you, but definitely you can do the fine tuning and things like that. So here you see the solutions are already ready. And if you want, you can just take this and put it as your, turn it to work item. I have done it already. And then you can edit all of these and, make it more fine-tuned and all of this. It's an enabler at the end of the day. Finally, you see all of this coming to the summary, where you can see the overall keyword cloud that has come from your idea. You can also see which are those feedback that has top voted, rising. And it is not just for your ideas, but it is also for issues. Some bug fixing things have been happening, and all of those things you can do. And you can also see the other tabs, pretty much self-explanatory. As I told, it doesn't require that much of training, but you can, definitely, kind of play around with the tool. I also wanted to tell you that we have an active YouTube channel, and we are coming up with one of the big events when it comes to AI-backed product management, sponsored by ShorterLoop, starting on December 12th. We have both the session, and here you can actually go to ShorterLoop YouTube channel, search it, you will find us. Then you can register for either the morning session, which is starting at 12:30 p.m., or you can do in the 9:30 p.m. Night session, because we have both the North America and also the APAC session included. So go and learn. I think as a student, it really gives you that kind of platform to, as in multiple opportunities for you to learn. So do that and give us the feedback, use the tool. I wish you all the very best. So here we stop, and if you have any more questions, I can take it now.
Thank you, Sudipta. It was a very enlightening session, and there are many takeaways for me personally. I mean, I do sessions on for entrepreneurs on ideation and product development and things like that, features development and so on, blue ocean strategy. So I saw that a lot of these things would make a training very easy. It's for hands-on training, this will be useful, and also for somebody who is developing a product, this will be very useful. This is both tech and non-tech people can use it. So it's been a very insightful session, and thank you very much. And thank you, students, for joining on a Saturday and making use of this opportunity.
Okay, take care, guys, and I'm signing off now.
Bye.
See you later. Yeah, bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.